Familiar scene, a showdown in Venezuela today. A lot more clashes and getting a lot more violent and a lot more heated as a disputed President Nicolas Maduro orders the border with Brazil shut down to keep U.S. aid out. Now, a top Russian diplomat is meeting with his Venezuelan counterpart in Moscow, backing up the Maduro regime. And all of this as the opposition leader, the guy we say is the rightful leader for the time being of Venezuela, Juan Guaido, calls on supporters to rise up and surround military bases this weekend in peaceful demonstrations to get their hands on that aid. But will all this be peaceful? We're on it. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. And first, my thanks to my buddy Charles Payne for filling in while I was out. Let's just say things are very, very tense in Venezuela at the moment, as Vice President Mike Pence prepares to make a high-profile trip next week to neighboring Colombia. Fox Business Network's Blake Berman on the very latest. Hey, Blake.
Hi there, Neil. The Trump administration trying to continue to keep the pressure on Venezuela's contested president, Nicolas Maduro, as the White House announced today that the Vice President, Mike Pence, will be heading to Colombia in just a few days' time on Monday. Standing in one of Venezuela's neighboring countries, the Vice President will call on Maduro to step aside. A spokesperson for the VP's office saying the following in a statement today, quote, "The struggle in Venezuela is between dictatorship and democracy, and freedom has the momentum. Juan Guaido is the only legitimate leader of Venezuela, and it's time for Nicolas Maduro to go." The announcement comes as Maduro has shut off the border between Venezuela and Brazil. Maduro also going on television earlier today saying he is considering shutting down the Colombian border as well to stop who he views as the opposition from bringing in relief. Guaido, the opposition leader, is organizing caravans as he is trying to get humanitarian relief that is being stymied at the border to make its way through Venezuela. Last week over here at the White House, President Trump hosted Colombia's president. Both were critical of Maduro for stopping aid at the border.
I think he's making a terrible mistake by not allowing that to happen. It's showing bad things. And really, we're trying to get food to people that are starving. You have people starving in Venezuela. And it just shows what can happen with the wrong government.
Meantime, a Russian deputy foreign minister today met with his Venezuelan counterpart in Moscow. Neil, Russia continues to stand behind Maduro and his allies. Neil?
All right, my friend, thank you very much. Blake Berman. Venezuela's opposition preparing for a showdown, as I said, against Maduro's armed forces, preventing anyone in the country from getting their hands on that aid. And there's a lot of it. All bridges and roads that lead into the country have been blocked by military men and women, and sometimes with trucks or just boxcars, anything they can to prevent anyone from getting their hands on it. So if they force the issue, then what happens? To the Independent Women's Forum's Claudia Rosette. What do you think happens, Claudia?
Well, Neil, it's going to be what they're trying to do. What the U.S. is maneuvering to do is move this impasse in the direction of the dictator Maduro steps down. That is the game. And I think it's risky. And at the same time, Juan Guaido has been willing to take the risk. This could actually be a very big weekend. This is taking a sort of what's been an impasse for the past month now since he became interim president. The dueling presidents.
What would happen, though, if the government were to force that issue with the government that we recognize, saying, no, we want to make sure this aid gets to the people? That could turn into a real mess come Saturday.
Yes, it could, but it's a real mess already. That's the problem. And I think part of the game here, and it's a deadly, serious game, is that you actually don't want Maduro to know for sure what will happen if he uses force to stop this. You want him afraid. That was the reason for that little note on John Bolton's notepad last month, 5,000 troops to Colombia, neither confirmed nor denied, just there. And I think the aim of this is these are images that really matter. If Guaido succeeds in bringing back some of this aid, it's symbolic. To help all of Venezuela is going to take a lot more than this, but it's a very important symbol of which way things.
All right. Thank you very much. I didn't want to interrupt you there, but we have some breaking news concerning Roger.